Dave and I go way back. I met him at a Mike Ferry event a long, long time ago, and maybe even some Century 20. You've been with Century 21 your whole career, right, Dave?
Correct. Yeah, 31 years.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, you know, Dave's been the #1 agent in Michigan since the year 2000. He's closed almost 6,000 transactions in his career, and almost, well, a little over three-quarters of $1 billion in sales, and was the #1 Century 21 agent in the United States in 2014 and 2015. The guy sells a ton of real estate, gets things done, is just an amazing individual. And I appreciate you coming out and just sharing a couple of different ideas and things with us today. So thank you for being here, Dave.
You're very welcome. Glad to be here.
That's great. That's great. So if you could take just a minute or two and kind of give us just a broad overview of the market in which you service.
Sure, no problem. But let me start with this. First of all, it's great to be here. And I want to tell a lot of your agents, you guys have no idea how blessed you guys are to work for somebody like Neil Schwartz. You probably don't know this, but I said this years ago in the Mike Ferry system after having met a lot of the brokers in the Mike Ferry system and in the Century 21 system. And I'm not telling you this to blow your head up right now, but I've always said if there was one other broker other than the one I'm with right now that I would ever want to work for, I wish I was in the same area, it would be Neil Schwartz, because you guys have a broker that not only understands business, understands how to grow your business, but also a Mike Ferry type of mindset, which to me is the best type of mindset that you could have. So you guys are really, really blessed. You have no idea how blessed you guys are to be working for this type of a broker. So great, great broker. So great to be here. And when he called me, this is somebody I look up to. He doesn't know that, but I look up to a lot. Always glad to help anytime, especially for somebody like Neil. A little bit about our market. We are in Dearborn Heights market. That's our primary market area. You probably would know it a lot more as being the area where Ford Motor Company is at. It's not an industrial area, but definitely an auto area. The big three are in our area. Our market area price range, that's why I'm looking at a lot of these things that you guys are promoting as far as different price points. You have no idea how blessed you guys are to be there. Our average price point is about like $175,000. So when we do a $300,000 deal, we do triple somersaults, you know. So, I mean, to be talking about 900,000 and $1.5 million, I mean, oh my God, like my biggest sale ever was 900,000. And that was one time in 31 years. So this is great. And you guys are blessed to be in that type of a market. But either way though, I still feel I'm very spiritual. I still feel I'm blessed to be in a situation that I am in the market that I am in. One of the reasons I never moved, I would have loved to have moved to California or Florida or anywhere else where you can sell much higher price points. But I'm very close to family. I love the fact that I've got, you know, all my close family here. My parents live near me, my sisters, my brothers, everybody else lives near me. And that's something that's very, very important to me. So although I could make more money somewhere else using the same type of skill set, but then at what cost? At a family cost, and that's just not an option for me. It's very important to be close to family. I've been in the real estate business since 1989, 31 years. I got into this. I came from University of Michigan, and I had a degree in finance and marketing. My parents had their house on the market, and through talking with the realtor at the time, I had just gotten a job out of the University of Michigan. And back then they paid like $21,000 a year. And then I had this dud agent telling me he was making $35,000. I'm thinking $35,000? That was like $1 million back then, back in the 80s. And so I started looking into the real estate business and I developed just a liking for it. So I decided to go into it on a temporary basis so I could before I could find a different job, because I was in the finance field and I was totally unhappy. I didn't like it. I wanted to get a job in the marketing field, which was my second degree. And then I figured I would just do real estate on just a temporary basis until I find a marketing job. And here we are 31 years later. I've been with the same broker from day one. The reason I've been with the same broker from day one, number one, is Century 21 is a major organization. So I love being there. And I think it's got a lot of great things for the agents. But number two, I'm one of those that never blames somebody else or something else for my lack of business. I always blame myself. So I'm not always looking to jump from broker to broker to broker to increase my business. In order to increase your business, you've got to do something, not your broker. As a matter of fact, I take no leads from my broker. I haven't taken a lead in the last probably, I think, 20 years or so. And the reason I did that is because you have people walking around the office. Yeah, I bet you I know why Dave is doing so well. He's probably getting all the leads. And I was getting very even to everybody else that's getting. So I just made a decision, you know what, it's just not worth it for me. I don't need it. And I just stopped taking leads. And what this does is this forces you to work. Now, one of my biggest facets that I've got is the fact that I'm one of those like all out type of people. If you ever want to do anything with me, you're going to get my 1,000,000,000%. I don't know any second gear or third gear. It's just the way my DNA has been made. So I've been with the same company. I followed the Mike Ferry system. Previous to this, I was in the Floyd Wickman system. And that was pretty good, but you know, it's pretty good to only get you to a certain level. And then I heard about the Mike Ferry system, went to my first seminar, and for like 20, 25 years with him, my whole time was like this. I mean, you just learn so much about mindset. As a matter of fact, the type of mindset that Mike Ferry teaches is what's allowed me to get through not only this ordeal that we are all in right now, but a lot of other ordeals in my life. My team is comprised of, I have 4 agents, 4 buyer's agents now. I didn't have it back then. Back then it was just me and my other brother. Now we have 4 agents because our business kept growing. And then I have 2 full-time administrative people, one that's a closing coordinator and one that's a listing coordinator. And then I have a 3rd administrative person that just handles the phone calls, sets up appointments, the minor administrative stuff. And then I have 2 runners, one of them for running around real estate, and then the other one does a lot of the running around for me personally. Now, this is not ego-based. This is so that, like, for example, when I get a car wash, I get people at the office that make fun of me. Why do you got to send, Ray to go wash your car? My mindset is it takes you 10 minutes to drive there, 10, 15 minutes inside the car wash, and 10 minutes to drive back. So you take that 35, 40 minutes per week or maybe twice a week, and you do some prospecting, you can make way more than what you're paying that gentleman to go wash your car. So I don't do anything as far as, I don't have a rake at home. I don't have a lawnmower. I don't have a shovel. We're in the East Coast. You got to have a shovel. I don't have a shovel at home. I don't have a screwdriver. I don't have a hammer. I have nothing. As a matter of fact, I even have a guy that comes in, believe it or not, and installs my light bulbs. Same type of mindset. I paid a guy 40, 50 bucks to go through the whole house and install light bulbs. It takes him an hour, whatever the hell it is. In that hour, I can make so much more money and pay him $50 in a heartbeat and go make $250, $300 an hour. That's the type of things that I've done as far as getting my business going. And I follow probably 80%, 90% Mike Ferry. Had I not joined the Mike Ferry system, I think with my drive, I still would have been successful, but there's no way in the world I would have been at this type of a mindset. Mike Ferry pushed me to work for being #1 in the country. And I thought that's like, whoa, in the country, but I did it. And I didn't do it on my own. I did it through following his system. As a matter of fact, every time there's an awards program, I automatically, first thing I thank is God for what I've gotten. And then the second person after God, the second thing after God automatically is the Mike Ferry system. Because I have no doubt in my mind, I wouldn't be where I'm at without the Mike Ferry system, having such a balanced life and having the great success that I've been, blessed to have had. So that's a synopsis of where I'm at right now in the business.
Well, that's great. I appreciate that, Dave. And I appreciate the energy and I thank you very much for those kind words. That was great. Thank you. Thank you.
Those are earned, Neil. Those are earned. Believe me. If you know anything about me, you would know complimenting is not my strong suit because I have such high standards that very little things impress me because I always say, okay, take it up another notch. No, that's not good enough. Take it up another notch. Take it up another notch. So when I'm impressed with somebody like yourself, you've earned it and very impressed with the way you carry yourself.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Dave, we could spend the whole time just complimenting each other and let everybody else, maybe we'll do that another time.
Sure.
So right now, so what was your goal when you started the year in 2020? What was your business number of transaction goal?
Okay. So my number of transaction goal, I went from 462 transactions, and then my goal was to get back to 450 transactions. And unfortunately, We got this little bump in the road, and I just call it a bump in the road or a challenge. I don't call it a problem, because once you call something a problem, that's like putting a barrier that can't be solved. So I look at it as a challenge, and I really strongly feel that we just have to work twice as hard to make up for the time that we have lost. And
Right.
I think it's very achievable, no doubt about it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But just so for clarity, when you started in January of 2020, the vision you had was 450, 460 transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. So, and your team handles that. So 400 transactions, 450 transactions would have gotten you about how much in commission income?
You'd be around 2.2 million in commissions.
2 million. And typically you're earning a couple $1 million a year for the last few years?
Yeah, total gross commissions coming in is usually, $1.5 million, $1.75 million, $1.25 million, depends on the particular year.
And the average sales price is 170,000.
Correct.
Got it. That's fantastic.
We even have houses, I'm gonna blow you guys' minds. I don't work that particular area. It's right by our office, not directly by our office, within a mile of our office. But in Detroit, believe it or not, during the market crash, you could buy houses, a full-blown house that you could live in for $3,000, $5,000, and $10,000. That's exactly what I said. $10,000, $5,000, full house that you could live in.
Wow.
Not a huge house, 1,000 square feet, but a livable home. I just don't work that area because of the commissions involved. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Okay, so let me take you back just a little bit. I mean, the way you get business today, how does it differ from the way you got business when you first started 31 years ago?
It's so interesting that you say that. Whenever you assess the real estate market, you'll find it's pretty much the same thing. So I've had many people mention somebody like Mike Fear and say, yeah, but his system is just so old. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's the same exact system that's been around for 31 years. All it is communicating with buyers and sellers and getting your face or one form or another in front of a buyer or a seller. Now, the conduit to that may be a little different. So maybe in the past, you may have gone to something face-to-face. Maybe now you do something like this. You do a Zoom call. Maybe you email them. But still the same type of system, getting in front of as many people as possible. And the sources of those business are all over the place. So exactly it's just like I tell a lot of my buyer's agents. If you don't want to use the Mike Ferry system, no problem. I got no problem with that. I don't care. Excuse the language. I always tell them the same thing. I don't care if you tattoo on the back of your butt cheek, I sell houses, and it works, great. Go do 100 deals. I won't question it. But if you're not doing that type of transaction, then you got to do this type of a system. So you don't have to follow the system if you think what you do works, because you'll always get people questioning you about how everything doesn't work. I always look at anything as to, okay, it does work, but how could I make it better? It's just a shift in mindset. And you'll find a lot of people will look for, how does that not work? Or how does that not work for me? Or how does that make me uncomfortable? Well, of course it's going to make you uncomfortable. Look, if you knew the real me, you'd know I'm probably one of the biggest introverts you'll ever meet. I'm as nerdy as it gets. You put me, as a matter of fact, I've said jokingly, if I ever went to jail and they gave me 100 books, I'd be a happy camper. I would not complain in jail. I'd be just sitting there reading books. That's my real me. But then you put on your, real estate, if you want to call it, outfit on, and you got to have a shift in mindset and become a little bit more extroverted to where you are able to approach people and talk to them about, real estate, whether you're at a function. I'm also, you probably didn't notice, but I'm also an elected politician. I'm a city councilman in the city and a commissioner in the state of Michigan. So I've become a little bit more balanced now in my life. But
what do you do on your days off?
Well, so here's my day. It blows people's minds. My day starts at 5:10 a.m. That's when I get up. And then I get home now about 6:37. Well, when I say get home, I'm done with real estate about 6:30, 6:15, 6:30-ish. And then from there, I'm involved with a lot of political events, community events, charity events. That's my way of not only giving back, but I have an amiable side of me. It's just to help people out. I really enjoy that type of stuff. And then the political stuff, I like something that gives you like mind exercise. So I like the legal end in dealing with governments. That's something I enjoy. I'm an immigrant to this country. I came from Lebanon as a 10-year-old. I'm 54 years old right now. At 54 years old, the Marines or the Army is not going to take me as one of their military guys. So this is my way of giving back to this great country that we are all blessed to live in.
Got it. Got it.
So
So
do I have much time off? No. I mean, Sunday's my day off, but I have a type of lifestyle. I follow, as you know, a lot of the Mike Ferry system and the 5 equities of life. That was one of the best things I ever learned in the Mike Ferry system, doing the 5 equities of life. My life was totally unbalanced. I was doing probably about 130 transactions a year. And that was with working from 7 a.m. until, believe it or not, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. My day off was Sunday, where I would start at 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. and I would finish at 5. That was my day off, if you want to call it. And then when Mike taught about having a balanced life, and he taught about delegating more and adding more people on your team that could do, the running around and what have you, that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Now, during my free time, I'm not one of those sit around and watch TV type of guys. It's just not a part of my DNA. So I do a lot of the political stuff, which gives me enjoyment and satisfaction for giving back. So is there time off? No, not much, but it is a balanced life with time with family, time for physical activity, spiritual time, financial time, and education, of course. And these are the 5 equities that Mike Ferry teaches. And I'm telling you, that alone was worth every penny I ever made to the Mike Ferry system.
So have you ever counted your gross commissions, like Karen Bernardi or Neil Weichel, that you made following Mike Ferry? Have you ever done that?
I did it a while back, and quite frankly, I don't remember it. And you probably won't believe me if I tell you this. I'm weird. It's not just the money that motivates me. It's being the best I can be, and then money is just a byproduct.
Sure.
So I don't sit in front of Neil to talk to him about selling his home and I'm counting, okay, that's going to be 10,000, 7,000, 6,000. I don't know. My mind just doesn't roll that way. You give everything your all and the results automatically happen. So when I go into the gym, I don't go into the gym about the 2 pounds I'm going to lose. I go into the gym to run and give it my all. And then the 2 pounds or 5 pounds, whatever it is that you want to lose, is an automatic byproduct. So I don't think of the byproduct. I think of the actions that are needed to be done. And then the byproduct happens automatically.
Got it. That's great. Great thought. Great thought. Got to shift gears just a little bit. Got to get into the weeds just slightly.
Sure.
How many out of the 450 transactions, how many listings will you take personally?
So I'm average, personally myself, I'll take anywhere between, like, I would say like about 100 to about 130, 140 listings per year. I'm primarily on my team. Right now I've shifted a little bit. I'm primarily the team manager and mostly listings. I work with, like, if anything, 1 buyer a year, maybe 2. During my best year, I'll work with 2 buyers. I really, honestly and truly, unless I had a typewriter, I honestly and truly don't even know how to log in to type up a purchase agreement if my life depended on it. Unless you had a typewriter in front of me. I don't even know how to get into that system. I have to get one of my assistants to help me out. And so it's funny when buyers start asking you questions about, this and that, I have to say, well, let me talk to my assistant about something. And then I'll go back and say, help me out with this thing, because I have no clue how to even log in to type up a purchase agreement. Because listings is the name of the game. It's something that Mike Ferry taught us, and I took that to heart, and there's no doubt about it that listings is the name of the game.
So do you get your listings from Past Client and Sphere, or you're working the street?
That's an excellent question. So Past Client and Sphere is a major part of it. I was at one point doing 3 hours. I had a big stop sign in front of me, 3 hours of prospecting per day. I'm one of those madmen. I mean, when I get into something, I just go all out. I don't know. Matter of fact, a funny thing.
By the way, that doesn't come through at all.
Yeah. Recently, because we have a little bit more time, I have a gym at home, and I was running, and then my wife came down. She's like, "It's midnight. Aren't you going to go upstairs?" And I looked at the thing and I was at like 14 miles and still just going, you know. It's just the way my weird screwed up mind works. It's an all out or nothing. So prospecting, you know, just is all the time. So even in my political stuff, I'm working the crowd. And how do you work the crowd? Again, back to Mike Ferry's system. And by the way, I don't work for Mike Ferry. I just believe in the system because it's proven for itself that it does work. So even during political stuff or political events or political meetings, you work the crowd by asking them open-ended questions and then get them speaking. And next thing you know, it goes right into a real estate type of conversation. And then we get business that way. I do very little advertising. I've got, matter of fact, one ad that goes out in one of the local magazines, and that's it. Everything else is through myself. I really believe that if something has to happen, you have to make it happen. I just don't believe in a broker doing it for you. I don't believe in the advertising it doing it for you. I don't believe in it. Definitely don't believe in it naturally happening. You know, it's just like I talk to people on my team. Just because you go into work, you won't have natural business happen. It just doesn't work that way. It's the same thing when you have a gym membership. You won't automatically lose weight. You got to go to the gym and you got to do what needs to be done, even though it may make you feel uncomfortable, even though you may not like it. Now, in my case, I love it. I play with my subconscious mind to say, I love weightlifting. I love running. I love calling people. And when you say it to your subconscious mind enough times, you'll automatically start to believe that it's fact because your subconscious is just not that bright. And it starts to believe that it's factual. And the next thing you know, you're getting better and better results.
So that's great. So what I'm hearing is the business that you get today is generated from expireds, from for sale by owners, your political,
everything, family, everything. Every single person in the history of the world is a real estate buyer or seller. Even if somebody says, I'm not in the market, you could make them in the market. So I could say to you, for example, Neil, we'll have a conversation and I'll delve into the real estate somehow. And I'll say, hey, Neil, I'm just curious. Have you ever thought about buying any investment properties? No. Well, the reason I'm asking, sometimes I'll run across property where you can get it for maybe 20, 30% below market, or maybe even 40% below market, and where you spend 10, 15,000, maybe 30,000 on it, and then flip it and make yourself 20, 30, maybe even $40,000. I also have a lot of contractors that I work with where you pay them a one-time fee. They get in, clean everything up, and it's ready to be flipped and put on the market. Did you ever consider making an extra $30,000, $40,000 a year? Did you ever think about something like that? Well, no, I never thought about something like that. Then boom, now you got a buyer. So every single person you ever run across is either a buyer or a seller, or knows somebody that wants to buy or knows somebody that wants to sell. And when you go into it with that type of mindset, you don't look for the reason as to why they're not a potential client. You're looking for a reason to make them a potential client. And then, as Mike Ferry teaches, if it becomes a condition, well then, okay, you know, I mean, I talk to you, Neil, and you say, yeah, I work, you know, as at XYZ Corp, and I make, you know, $6,000 a year or 10 or 15 or whatever. Well, then that's not an option for you. So then I said, well, that's great. Good for you. And I'll turn around and go look for somebody else.
Right. So the listings that you're getting, I'm just trying to narrow it down a little bit, sorry, is because these are the questions I'm getting from people in the chat room. Do you call expireds now?
So we do call expireds. We do call for sale by owners, absolutely, on a regular basis. It's a little bit more challenging right now to reach people as we did before, because previous to caller ID, you know, you could reach everybody. You know what I mean? They don't know who you are. Now it's a little more challenging with people having cell phones. But then when we don't, we go knock on their door. What you do, the system I use, I take a list of expireds, I divide it up into the particular city that I live in, into different neighborhoods, different quadrants, and then you just leave those in your car. And then the moment you're near that particular home, you just knock on their door. And when you're knocking on the door, you're the only one there. There's nobody else that's been able to reach them because they're unreachable. So you have that much greater opportunity to be able to take that particular listing.
Got it.
And you get people that will say to you, so this is the shift, the difference in mindset. I'm looking at it as an opportunity. Most of the negative nannies the first negative Nellies, the first thing they think of, well, don't people, you know, shut the door in your face? Yeah. Well, doesn't that bother you? No. I mean, what's the big deal? So they slam the door in your face. Big deal. I mean, what's that going to do to me? It's not going to kill me. And you know, and rejection has never been the type that's bothered me. It's just, I don't know, for whatever reason, it just doesn't bother me, because it's a process to the end game, which is the actual sale that you'll eventually get. And if you do that enough times, you'll eventually get the results.
And you make a very nice living at it. So congratulations.
Absolutely. I'm making a living that I never could have, you know, dreamed of had I stayed in the corporate world.
Right.
No doubt about it.
Right. No, for sure.
And especially for you guys. I mean, look at you guys' price points. Oh my God. Wow. You guys are so blessed. You have no idea.
So Dave, you wouldn't respect me if I said, when do you plan on moving offices?
Well, you got to at least ask. You got nothing to lose. Well, like I said, had family not been an issue, I probably would have moved years ago to a different city. But
Dave, we'll just move all of them.
Move them with us. Yeah,
we'll move them all.
Absolutely.
Don't worry about that. We'll take care of it.
Yeah, that's my biggest. That's my biggest thing.
Adam's a great guy. He's a great guy.
Yes, he is.
Absolutely. So do you put all your past client, your transactions in any kind of a CRM and keep track of them?
So every one of us has got this has definitely been one of my challenges. And if you talk to Mike right now, he would just laugh, because that's always been one of my biggest challenges, is not consistently calling past clients. A part of the thing that I put in my head is I'm just crazy busy and I just don't have the time to go into that particular segment. So there's definitely a failure that I've got in my business, no doubt about it. Okay. I do minimal calling.
When it comes to the past client and sphere.
Yes, that's definitely one of my weaknesses. I think a part of it is I've always assessed, like, why? It's not afraid, by the way. That part doesn't bother me whatsoever. I call anybody. You get me to call Trump, Obama. I'll call anybody you want. It wouldn't bother me. Call me a major superstar athlete. It wouldn't bother me. I don't get afraid to call. So that part is a non-issue. I think a part of it is I'm really weird where it's got to be something challenging for me to get excited. So when something is easy, I don't know why my brain's like that. I shut down. As a matter of fact, in a funny way, I had a very easy listing one time years ago where, for real, not a joke, while sitting like this listening to the guy's story, for real, not a joke, I fell asleep, completely asleep. And the guy waited for me a minute or two and 3 or 4, and then he didn't know if I was having a heart attack. He didn't know what was happening, because it was like a really easy, cheesy, quick like listing, and he's just talking about something. I guess I was tired or something, I don't know, and fell asleep until like 5 minutes into it. You know, I feel somebody, you know, tapping me like, hey, Dave, are you okay? And when I opened my eyes, I had one of those oh shit moments, like, oh my God, I couldn't believe that I had just done that. So I just gave him some excuse about how I stayed up all night, and and I'm sorry and whatever. That was one of my probably most embarrassing moments. But because it was not a challenging listing, I don't know why. I get excited about a challenge than something that's easy. So calling past clients is easy. It just, I don't know why. It just doesn't do it for me. You give me a difficult person. Like, I love it when somebody on my team says, hey, this person's very difficult. They're real, and then they have their own names for them. And I said, well, give me them. Let me call Neil. Let me take care of this. What's going on? Here's what's going on. Okay, let me call Neil. And then I get into, I'm going to win this. I'm going to win this argument or this debate or this challenge, whatever it is, me versus Neil. By the end, I'm going to be done. And I'm not even thinking about $1 I'm going to make off of you. I just got to win it. I go into that type of mindset. So that's why with past clients, always been and we all have our challenges. That's definitely mine.
So Dave, with your energy, excitement, and enthusiasm, I would suspect that you might not be calling them, but they call you, correct?
We do get a lot of, come list me's and, come find me a home, what have you. The energy I have, that's just my passion for the real estate business. If you see me outside of real estate, you probably wouldn't even recognize me. Like I said, here, as you can see here, I'm in my library, and this is like my dream, just sitting around reading books, researching things, learning about things. That's just the way I am. But I go into a whole different thing, and it's my passion for the real estate business that makes, as a matter of fact, like when I go into the office on a Saturday and the office will be empty, and I'll get somebody that's like my brother that's on that's on the call right now. He'll be like, I'll be all like nervous and angry. I'm not the broker. I'm not the owner of the company. I have nothing to do with any of these agents. And he says, what do you care that Neil's not here? What do you mean, what do I care? He made $10,000 last year and this guy's not in the office and I'm in the office trying to generate business. Like my mind just doesn't get it. How people aren't going all out in anything that they do. My mind just does not get it. And so if you get into anything, give it your all, even if you have to fake it, give it your all, and then the results will automatically happen.
Got it. Absolutely. Good job. So how's this market changed how you physically go get a listing today? Are you doing anything virtual? Are you, how's that working for you?
So definitely one of my challenges, technology has definitely not been my thing.
Clearly we cleared that up.
Yeah, I could get on my email and I could email somebody and that's it. But the reality is we have to shift now. We have to learn this type of stuff, Zoom. Look, this is eventually going to make our jobs much easier in the long term, because now it's forced clients to learn this type of technology and it's forced people like me to learn this type of technology. So it is going to be a shift where we are going to be, you know, in the long term, are going to have to show people via maybe either FaceTime or have a full-blown listing, you know, appointment via something like this. There's no choice. Right. Whenever I get into a situation where there's no choice, you know, then there's no choice. Then why am I going to sit and cry about it? It is what it is, and let's just go to plan B. And if I can't get the technology, I'll hire somebody that's a technology expert, add them on my team, and have them do the A to Z's on the technology.
Right, absolutely. Good job. So how would you advise a new agent today or newer agent to get some business?
Oh my God, that's an excellent question. So one of the mantras that I've always followed that I believe will get you to success in almost anything that you do, okay? It's three things, okay? Two of them we control, one of them we have to learn. Okay, and let me tell you what they are. This is what I use in my business to be successful, not only in this, but in anything else in my life. Okay, let's start with the first one. That's one that you have to learn. Skill set. Okay, that's one that you have to learn. I don't know about you. I mean, you're a broker. I personally have, I think I've seen one or two people in my career where they came into the business and they automatically had the skill set to be able to sell. They were just naturals at it. Most people aren't natural at it. Most people have to learn it because this is not something people do every day. They may have charisma, they may have a good personality, but they may not be a natural person to be able to learn how to sell. So they have to learn the skill set. Now that's where somebody like Mike Ferry or any other trainer, you know, Tom Ferry, Matthew Ferry, Floyd Wickman, you know, whoever works for you. As I tell people on my team, look, Mike Ferry is who I love, but if somebody else works for you, go for it as long as you're getting the results. So skill set is something that you have to learn. Now and I'm gonna tell you what I do on each one of these. In order to get my skill set to the next level, despite having done 25 years with Mike Ferry, despite my real estate success, I continue every single morning. I'll watch a 5, 7, or 10-minute video on bettering my skill set. And every night I'll watch a 5, 10, or 15-minute video on bettering my skill set. And then right now during this epidemic, I'm watching obviously a lot more webinars to better my skill set, because I believe, and this is just an analogy, don't take it word for word. If you believe you're smart, so another word for it is you know it all, you're really dumb. And if you believe you have so much more to learn, you're really, really, really smart. So in my case, I believe I've learned maybe 5, 10% of what I need to learn about the real estate business. Therefore, I'm always hungry and driven to learn and seek and want more and more and more to better my skill set. And that's why when I go in front of a listing appointment, that SOB is mine. I'm not walking away until I get that listing one way or another. Now, do I take this type of personality that I have right now? No, because you obviously have to match and mirror. But I have the skill set that I've learned over the years to make sure that I get that listing. Not natural skill set, because like I said, 80, 90% of my success is due to Mike Ferry, you know, and then the rest is God and what little talent that I have. So skill set is something that a new agent automatically has to build forever. I'm 54 years old and still building my skill set. And I know the same for you, Neil, and the same for a lot of your agents. So that's something that you have to learn. The next two are ones that a lot of us are either natural at it or we have to just continue to work at it. The first one, the second one is drive. To be driven, if there's one natural asset that I do have is I'm naturally driven to give everything my all. If me and you, Neil, walked out of my house and said, hey, let's walk over to the store there or to whatever and, you know, grab a pop, hypothetically, I would be running to beat you to grabbing a pop. Whereas you'd be like, Dave, you know, bring it down about 300, you know, we're just getting a pop, relax. It's just the way my mind works. I would play basketball every once in a while with my brother, who's really, really good at basketball. And not this brother, a different brother. Really, really good at basketball. Whereas for myself, athleticism has definitely not been one of my strong points. So I do whatever it takes, and I'll beat him 2 out of 5 times. And he's way more naturally skilled at it than I am. And one time, I'll never forget the quote. He's like, Dave, chill out. It's not the Final Four. Relax. I just don't know how to relax. It's just all or nothing. Now, that may, you know, if there was a doctor here that'd say, Dave, you're setting yourself up for a heart attack. Who knows? But it's just the way I am. So you got to have drive. Now, in order to have drive, you got to figure out what it is that drives you. So like for me right now, I'd be the first to tell you it's not money. Money just doesn't drive me anymore. It just doesn't. Maybe because I'm comfortable financially. Maybe I'm complacent. I don't know. But it just doesn't drive me. Giving it my all and helping others, this is one example, is what drives me right now. If I could help build somebody that, like I'm looking right now at Sherry, I don't even know her. But if 5 years from now, she says, Dave, that one nugget I learned from you helped double my business, that will make my day much better than a $2,000 or $5,000 commission. I know it's weird, but that's just the way my mind works. So being driven to give it your all is something that you're going to have to learn. Now find out what it is that drives you. It's not always money. It's not always materialism. It could be, you know, Christina Martinez, I'm sure you know her, Neil. And at one point she had made so much money that she didn't need it anymore. Well, her drive was to help build her church, if you remember. And she added a second addition to her church. That's beautiful. If that's what drives you, great. Find out your why, what it is that wakes you out of bed. So now we have skill set and we have drive. And then the third one, this is the reason why most people fail in the real estate business. And you as a broker, I'm sure you know that, Neil. Because I don't know how it is in California, but here in Michigan, our broker cannot set our hours, cannot tell us what to do, cannot say, why aren't you coming into work? How come you haven't been here in 9 days? I think that's the biggest crock of bullshit that there is in the real estate industry. I can't stand that. That's why I said I get nervous on Saturday. Why can't a broker that you're working for tell you, hey, you haven't been here in 12 days. What are you doing while I'm at home? Well, is what you're doing at home working? You got 3 transactions closed and it's November. So that's not working. You got to come to work and you got to do what needs to be done. See, that's the mindset. But the reason a lot of them fail is because they lack the self-discipline. So that's the third one. You got to have self-discipline. Why do I add the word self on there? Because most people don't have self-discipline. They wait and rely on Neil to show them discipline, to force them on discipline. If you have to be forced on discipline, you're not going to be successful. You got to self-discipline yourself. I sleep, I know it's going to blow your mind. I sleep 3 hours and 15 minutes a day. I've done that for 40 years. People tell me, isn't that a problem for you? Don't you lose, you know, because of a lack of sleep, doesn't that lose your energy? And I say, well, let me ask you this, who's got more energy, me or you? So obviously it works for me, okay? Now, why do I do that? Because I'm doing a lot of the political stuff. I'm doing different things I do. I go to sleep around 1:15 in the morning, and then 5:15, 5:10, I'm up and doing a workout. That's when I'm doing my gym stuff. And then after that, I take a shower. I have my 45-minute breakfast no matter what. That's my downtime where I'm just relaxed, reading a newspaper, just very relaxed, drinking my cup of coffee, having my nice and healthy breakfast, and then off to work. Now, even if I have no appointments, I'll still go to work at the same time. Even if I have money, I'll still go to work at the same time. That's what's called self-discipline. I've gotten home every once in a great while from an event at 3:30 in the morning. And guess what? I'll sleep an hour, get up, shower, and off to work again. That's a key thing in order to have great success. So again, skill set, drive, and self-discipline. You have those 3 in place for anything, and you're almost guaranteed success. But the second, one of those three is the reason a lot of us fail.
That's fantastic. Really, really fantastic, Dave. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know what your time's like. We're
Got all day.
exactly.
If he wants to cut into my 1 o'clock, that's fine.
Do you will you mind taking a few questions?
Absolutely, love to.
Good job, good job. So, questions, anyone? Michael, you have a question?
Oh no, I just want to tell you that we need Neil 7 o'clock every morning to wake up.
And you know what? I've seen, Neil, you were at one point sending the videos. And by the way, I'm one of those that was one of your biggest fans. I was watching them all the time, your sales meetings. And that's where I had a lot of, I was telling you, I mean, this is great. I mean, he's holding you guys accountable. That's beautiful. I haven't gotten those emails in a while. I don't know. Do you still do those videos that you were saying?
We do. Some people have gotten dropped off. We had some issues, but I'll get that fixed today.
Absolutely. Love it.
It'll be fixed before the end of today, Dave. Absolutely.
Love it.
Okay. Guys, you have some questions here?
I just wanted to say hi to Dave. Dave, I'm from Detroit, and I know your market very well.
Oh,
I started in 1969 with my mom and my family as a teenager. And my mother was a top Michigan realtor before computers. So
wow, beautiful.
I'm amazed at your statistics. I was national spokesperson for Ford Motor Company there in Dearborn, between selling homes with my mother. But it's great to see you, and I'm really impressed with what you've done.
Well, thank you. I'm honored.
Thank you. Thank you, Ali. Okay. Other questions? Good stuff.
Monica had a question of what book are you currently reading?
Well, Think and Grow Rich. I mean, I read that on a regular basis. That's a book that you just got to keep going back to over and over and over again. And then I don't want to break the mic here, but I've got quotes from Mike that I've just started to read again. Anything to do with business and bettering your mindset, I'm all over it. All over it. Because your mindset, you will die before you'll get it to that 100% level. I mean, I could think of maybe 2-3 people maybe over the years that have the perfect mindset. Your mindset is a continuous job. It's not like you get to the right mindset and boom, you're done. Because the moment you stop working on your mindset, you'll automatically start to drop as far as drive and what have you is concerned. So I'm continuously reading videos. I mean, there was a Matthew Ferry seminar right now, just about 2 minutes ago, but I hope he sends the recording of that. You know, I'll consistently watch videos. Videos is the one that works, by the way, best for me. Videos is what works best for me because it's 45 minutes, half an hour, and just sharpening your skill set and sharpening your mindset. That's what works best for me.
That's great. Excellent. Good job. All right. Dave, we're not going to take any more of your time.
No problem.
I just so appreciate your energy, your enthusiasm, your you know, you really are an inspiration for so many people. And, you know, I just love being connected with you. And I really appreciate you taking the time today, my friend.
Always glad to. Always glad to.
All right. Great job. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.